Pokémon! What do you think of talking about around here? Harry Potter? While doing my tier list series, I've noticed that there's a lot to talk about in this franchise. From the Pokemon themselves, the mechanics of the games, and why Megas are the best, and even the human characters in the series. It's surprising that in a game series where there are dragons, gods, and living food, there are still normal humans that can grab the attention of its fan base. You have people like Cynthia, who seems so calm and collected, while also being a battle master. And you have people like Guzma, who are willing to sacrifice even their own children and morals to get what they want. Yes, I think for characters in Pokemon, it's the villains who are the most interesting. These people can range from seeing a problem with our society and want to change it by any means necessary, to not liking ugly people and wanting to make it more like Abercrombie and Finch. Except with more murder. But then there's one person who didn't care about world domination. One person who didn't care about changing this wretched world we lived in. One person who didn't care about making the most money. All he wanted was for his talents to be recognized by his peers and acknowledged as a good trainer.
The boss is coming on in.
The world is ready, you trash! Time to clean the house and take out the trash!
So, Guzma, what are you here for?
Didn't you suggest that I compete in your Pokémon League? Well, here I am, just like you wanted. Full power, burn it up, blue sky, full cup! No one ever calls it like the team that knows what's up!
Can't stand that fake hero act and your justice for all garbage you're always talking about. It's worthless! Who cares about Alola's natural world?
If he won't, then I will! Use Sparkling Aria!
Use Throat Chop.
I would expect you to approve of my taking part.
It's all worthless, get it? I don't need Z moves or Z rings! I'll get strong my own way! I'll show you!
Then that's that. But you're gonna regret you said that.
What are you doing?
You always dreamed of a stadium? Well, I'm gonna stand at the top. Then we'll just see if you can still claim the right to spout all your lofty theories and dreams.
Use Poison Jab. Fine with me! I'll do this until the very end! Wind Missile!
Once I become champion, you'll never have another competition again.
Liquidation!
Full power, burn it up, blue sky, full cup! No one ever calls it like the team that knows what's up! Put your hands together, let me hear you say, what's up? Yeah!
I'm gonna destroy all those stupid dreams of yours. Let's go. I can't wait.
The winner is Guzma!
Guzma was born in Hau'oli City and was raised in a small house on Route 2. His dream was to become an island captain and eventually a kahuna. He traveled the islands of Alola with his friend Kukui, who we later know as Professor Kukui. We learned during the events of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that neither Guzma nor Kukui actually finished their island trials. Kukui, as we know, went on to become a Pokemon professor who studies Pokemon moves and how they work fundamentally. He also goes on to marry Professor Burnett and make friends with the Mass Royale. While not completing the island challenge turned Guzma cold, he would go on to enter other battle competitions, doing fairly well in each, getting no less than 3rd place, but for some people, that wasn't enough. If you enter Guzma's house on Route 2 and talk to his father, he says this: "It's good for kids to experience their own journeys, but running away without even a word to your parents is another thing entirely. I tried to set that boy of mine straight, but when I did, I was the one who got beat." And if you walk over to this bag of golf clubs and press A on them, the text reads, "There are a great number of broken and bent golf clubs in the bag." If you go into Guzma's room, you can see some of the trophies he's earned. If you click A on them, it reads, "There's a thin layer of dust on the trophies." If you lay down in Guzma's old bed, the text reads, "There is the sad, musty odor of an old bed that no one has slept in for a long time." Having this information, we can start to piece together what happened to Guzma and why he is the way he is now. It's at this point I want to give a quick trigger warning. We're going to be talking about child abuse and whatnot, so if that's something that you don't want to hear about, I suggest leaving the video right now. We start with the first two big connections, Guzma's father and the golf clubs. The golf clubs are broken and bent as if someone used them to hit something. Guzma's father says, I tried to set that boy of mine straight, but when I did, I was the one who got beat. So having this bit of information, we can make the assumption that Guzma was beat by his father using golf clubs. We can also make the assumption that this is the reason Guzma ran away from home. I mean, can you blame him? No child deserves to be put through that. And we can pinpoint the age he was when this happened. If you walk over to the set of photos hanging on the wall, they read, one of the photos shows a tall boy clasping his Island Challenge amulet with the clear glow of pride. We know in the Generation 7 games that we are 11 years old as of starting our Island Challenge, which means Guzma was at least 11 years old when this started happening. We can probably assume this went on for a while before Guzma had enough and ran away. But why did Guzma's father do it? What drove him to beating his child? Well, we can solve that by looking at Guzma's achievements. Looking at Guzma's trophies, we know that he never earned a gold medal. We also know that Guzma was never able to finish his Island Challenge, even though he was a skilled battler. Because he never finished his challenge, he was never allowed to be a captain. So his father beat him as a means of motivation to make him better. Guzma then ran away from home and created Team Skull. Guzma uses Team Skull as a means to interrupt other trainers' Island Challenge as a sort of revenge to the island traditions which deemed him a bad trainer. The trainers he recruits are mainly other trainers who couldn't make it through their own island challenges. He makes them feel like they belong and their skills are worthy of his acknowledgement. Even though some trainers are less skilled, some like Plumarina see him as a role model and someone who recognizes their talents, something Guzma never had. And his team was actually successful. So successful that they were able to run the police and citizens out of an entire town. The island has cut off power to the town as a means of retaliation, but that doesn't stop them. They make do with what they have and even manage to collect every Bugninium Z so no other trainer could use them against him. This could also be him living a sort of fantasy as he would most likely choose to be a bug-type challenge captain. Despite all this, there was still a hole in Guzma that needed to be filled. The very thing he was doing for his recruits, he himself never got. That is, until he met Luzamine. Growing desperate, Luzamine went to Guzma asking for his assistance. She made him feel needed and recognized him as a competent trainer. Something that the Kahunas denied him, something his own father denied him. He finally got what he wanted, but in doing so, he lost what I loved about him. He was a trainer, a villain who wanted to prove to the world that he was the best. He was an antagonist that shows the darker side of the gym challenges, that not everyone is cut out for battling and how not everyone takes it sitting down. He rebelled against the system that worked against him and crawled his way inch by inch to make a name for himself. But the moment someone of power recognizes him, he becomes an obedient soldier. After he and Luzamine enter the Ultra Wormhole, he sees what idolizing someone who only sees your usefulness can do. In Sun and Moon, he gets stuck in Ultra Space with a crazy Luzamine, and in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, he is spat out and beaten by the Ultra Beasts. After those events, he returns to his childhood home. In Sun and Moon, that is the end of his story, but in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you can find him in Hali City Beach. It is there that Hala tells him that he sees the potential in Guzma and is willing to shape him into a brilliant trainer. Guzma disbands Team Skull, but Plumarina more or less watches over the former grunts, giving them the confidence that Guzma once gave her. We can sometimes see Guzma at the battle tree in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but other than that, that's the end of Guzma's story. In the anime, Guzma doesn't disband Team Skull, but instead keeps them together and they work together to become stronger. In the manga, Guzma survives the Ultra Beast attack, and after waking up in the hospital, opens up a Malasada shop with Hao and Malo. And that's it! That's all we know of Guzma and his antics. That's literally where Guzma stops. We haven't seen him in any games past Gen 7. I don't believe we've seen him in any of the new manga. After the Sun and Moon anime ended, that's just how it ends in the anime. And I just feel like that's such wasted potential to have a character like Guzma just kind of stop and having like an abrupt ending. At least the manga kind of, gives him a little bit of closure. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to just, live a normal life. But the games and the anime just has more to offer in my opinion. And that is my short video essay on one of my favorite Pokemon human characters, Guzma. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a long time in the creation, mainly because my computer shit itself and I lost all my footage and all my voice recordings. And when you lose something you work on, it's kind of hard to get the motivation to pick back up and start that one again. You kind of want to start something new, but I really want to get this video out. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, make sure to hit that like button. Couple of good video, make sure to subscribe button. Helps channel, helps you, it helps me as a whole. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.
Tight bars, little man.